Hello Booktube, welcome to Lizzie Faye Loves Books. I'm Elizabeth and today's video is my day 3 challenge for Booktubeathon. Now the challenge today is to reenact a scene from a book, and I have chosen to do a scene from Into the Wild by Erin Hunter. This is the very first book in the very first Warriors series, and I have not read this yet. This is on my list of books to read this year, but my daughter Katie has read just about all of these and really enjoyed them. So because this is a book whose main characters are cats, I'm going to let 2 of my cats reenact the scenes while I narrate for you. So then I'll come back after the scene and I'll give you a reading update of how much I got read yesterday on day 2. So let's move on to the scene. This is from chapter 1 of Into the Wild, and I will introduce you to the stars of the show. The orange cat is Morris, who is my daughter Katie's most favorite cat and is very spoiled. Now Morris will be playing the part of Rusty in the story, who later becomes Firepaw and is the main character in this book. Playing the part of Smudge is our black and white cat Beast. The crisp smell of the woods had grown fresher after the rain. Suddenly the fur on his spine prickled. Was something moving out there? Was something watching him? Rusty stared ahead, but it was impossible to see or smell anything in the tree-scented air. He lifted his chin boldly, stood up, and stretched, one paw gripping each corner of the fence post as he straightened his legs and arched his back. He closed his eyes and breathed in the smell of the woods once more. It seemed to promise him something, tempting him onward into the whispering shadows. Tensing his muscles, he crouched for a moment. Then he leaped lightly down into the rough grass on the other side of the garden fence. As he landed, the bell on his collar rang out through the still night air. "Where are you off to, Rusty?" meowed a familiar voice behind him. Rusty looked up. A young black and white cat was balancing ungracefully on the fence. "Hello, Smudge," Rusty replied. "You're not going into the woods, are you?" Smudge's amber eyes were huge. "Just for a look," Rusty promised, shifting uncomfortably. "You wouldn't get me in there. It's dangerous." Smudge wrinkled his black nose with distaste. "Henry said he went into the woods once." The cat lifted his head and gestured with his nose over the row of fences toward the garden where Henry lived. "That fat old tabby never went into the woods," Rusty scoffed. "He's hardly been beyond his own garden since his trip to the vet. All he wants to do is eat and sleep." "No, really, he caught a robin there," Smudge insisted. "Well, if he did, then it was before the vet. Now he complains about birds because they disturb his dozing." "Well, anyway," Smudge went on, ignoring the scorn in Rusty's mew, "Henry told me there are all sorts of dangerous animals out there. Huge wildcats who eat live rabbits for breakfast and sharpen their claws on old bones." "I'm only going for a look around," Rusty meowed. "I won't stay long." "Well, don't say I didn't warn you," purred Smudge. All right, so that was just a little snippet of Into the Wild by Erin Hunter. All right, so now for my day 2 reading update. I did meet my audiobook goal. I met 2 out of my 3 reading goals yesterday. I did do 4.5 hours in The Husband's Secret by Liane Moriarty. I am listening to this on my phone, and I will admit that I did speed it up a bit. So I didn't spend an actual 4.5 hours on the book, but I did accomplish 4.5 hours worth of audio. And I had mentioned that I did not get anything read in my print books other than a couple of pages out of this book and also my ebook on Monday, but I did catch up yesterday, and I just started over in this book. I had only read 3 pages when I was going to bed, and I didn't even remember because I was so sleepy. So I just started it over yesterday, and I read 180 pages. So now I'm caught up in this book, and I plan to read another 90 pages today, and then I will finish it tomorrow. Then my other goal was to read at least 10% in my ebook. I'm reading Nothing But Blue Skies by Christy Ridgway. This is a book I had started already before Booktubeathon, and it's not counting for any of my challenges, and I did not get any of it read by midnight. However, I did end up staying up a little later. I had said that I was at 20% when Booktubeathon started, but actually when I looked it was about 23%. So even though it was after midnight, I thought, I'm still awake. I'm going to go ahead and try to get to 30%. That way I don't have as much to catch up on again today. But my Kindle conked out at 29%. I got, my battery was just completely drained, and I was only at the 29% mark of my book instead of 30 that I was trying to get to. So I just gave up, plugged it in, and I have since then read a couple more pages today to bring it up to 30%. So now I need to read another 20% today to be caught up with where I want to be in this ebook. So that is where I am. I'm also currently reading a fourth book. I did start the audio of Tea Time for the Traditionally Built by Alexander McCall Smith because on Monday I was listening to The Husband's Secret and I had to charge my phone. So because I have this on Play Away from the library, I went ahead and picked it up, and I ended up listening to 2 hours of it on Monday because it was really good, and I just went ahead and listened to more than I actually needed to, and kind of forgot that my phone was charging. So I didn't end up picking this one up at all yesterday, but I did complete 2 hours worth of the audio on Monday. So I'm right now currently reading 4 books, and I don't plan to finish any of these today. I know a lot of people have already finished 1 or 2 books, but these are basically my 4 longest books, and then I have 4 more that are much shorter. So it will all come together, and I plan to finish them all by the end of the week, but I just felt like for me it would be better to go ahead and start chinking away at these longer books rather than putting them off till the end of the week when I would feel pressure. This way I'm getting my big ones out of the way, and all I'll have left are short ones, and I feel really good about that. So I'm having a great Booktubeathon, even though I haven't actually finished anything, and I hope you are having a great Booktubeathon as well. So that's all for this video. I hope you're having a great day. Read a good book, and God bless you.